Hello, good morning, my dear students. My name is Venkat, Assistant Professor of Zoology. I started one YouTube channel. My channel name is Aniruddha Tutorials. In my Aniruddha Tutorials, I teach zoology, that is animal science, pertaining to NEET entrance examination, that is All India Medical Entrance Examination. In my teaching, I also teach about AIMS and ZIPMER entrance examination. I purely teach the NCERT plus 1 11th class and NCERT plus 2 12th class standard. I also take some other references which may be very useful for the other entrance examinations like AIMS and ZIPMER. Once again, I welcome you for my Aniruddha Tutorials, and this is my first class, and thanks for listening. And if you want give me suggestions, I allow you for the suggestions also. This is my first class. I start NCERT plus 1 human physiology, digestion and absorption. Thank you. Human physiology. Before I start the digestion and absorption topic, I'd like to teach the first page of NCERT introduction page, that is as follows. The reductionistic approach in studying the life forms increased the usage of various physico-chemical concepts and also physico-chemical tools. What is that reductionistic approach? The methodology of studying at the micro level, not at the macro, ultimate level, smallest level, is the reductionistic approach. So because of the reductionistic approach in studying the life forms, increasing the usage of the various physico-chemical concepts and the tools, and because of the explosion of knowledge, this is led to the increase in the knowledge, explosion in the knowledge. When the knowledge is exploded, ultimately there is one branch of biology is evolved. That branch of biology is called as the molecular biology. and this is the branch of biology evolved because of there is an explosion in the knowledge because is uses of the various physicochemical phenomena. Molecular biology is almost a synonym to two other branches. One is the biochemistry and biophysics. And coming to not only either one more point, either organismic approach nor reductionistic approach what is that organismic approach this methodology of studying the life forms at the entire organism level, a macro level, and reductionistic approach is at the micro level. Both these two approaches have not revealed the truth of life forms. Have not revealed the truth of the life forms, because the life forms are due to the interaction. Life forms are because of the interaction between the molecules, interaction of the molecules, and forms the cell organelle. Interaction of the cell organelle inside a cell, interaction of the cell lead to the tissue interaction, and then into the organ and the organ systems. Therefore, either the organismic approach nor the reductionistic approach, these two approaches have not revealed the truth of the life forms. The truth lies in the interaction at the ultimate level, molecules and the cell organelle, cells, tissues, organs and organ systems inside a body, inside that organism. Therefore, the life forms like digestion, respiration, circulation, excretion, one more, locomotion and movement. All these life forms were done All these life forms were achieved at the cellular level. At the cellular level. At cell level. Whereas the last two chapters, one is the neural control and coordination, neural control and coordination, and one more, the chemical control and coordination. Chemical control and coordination. These two are achieved at the organism level. At the organism level. So this is the introduction page of NCERT plus 1 before I start the digestion and absorption. The reductionistic approach means the approach at the ultimate microscopic level to study the life forms led to the increase in the usage of the various physico-chemical concepts and the tools, and because after there is an explosion in the knowledge increase, and because of the explosion in the knowledge, molecular biology is evolved, and molecular biology is almost a synonym to the biochemistry and the biophysics. Therefore, not only reductionistic approach or the organismic approach, these two approaches have not given the truth of the life forms. The truth lies inside the organism at the ultimate level, right from the molecules to the cells, cell organelle, the cell and the tissue, organ and organ systems, etc. They are interacted inside the body. Therefore, life forms like the digestion, respiration, circulation, excretion, locomotion and movement, they are occurring at the cellular level. Whereas the neural control and coordination and the chemical control and coordination, these two are achieved at the organism level. And now I start the digestion and absorption. The first chapter in human physiology is digestion and absorption. Digestion and absorption. First of all, what is the meaning of digestion? Digestion is the conversion of the complex food materials into the simple food materials or simple forms. And the complex are nothing but they are present in the form of the polymers. Conversion of the polymers into their monomeric units, monomers. Conversion of unabsorbed into absorbable forms. Conversion of unabsorbable into the absorbable. Conversion of the polymers into monomers. Conversion of the complex into the simple. But these are converted in the presence of the enzymes. In the presence of specific type of the enzymes. Enzymes are the proteins which are working as the biological catalysts. For example, what are these complex or polymers are unabsorbable? In our diet majorly contain the carbohydrates, proteins, lipids or fats. These three are complex or polymers and unabsorbable. They are converted into their monomers or simple forms or absorbable forms. In the presence of the specific type of the enzymes, carbohydrates are digested. In the presence of the enzymes are called as the carbohydrates. Proteins are digested in the presence of the proteolytic enzymes. Lipids are digested in the presence of the lipolytic enzymes. Ultimately, carbohydrates are converted into the monomers or glucose, fructose, and also galactose. These three are the monomers of the complex carbohydrates. Proteins are converted into the amino acids, monomers. Lipids are converted ultimately into the fatty acids and glycerol. And this is the meaning of digestion. Conversion of the complex food materials into the simple, polymers into the monomer, unabsorbable into the absorbable forms. And now I would like to start from alimentary canal of man. Alimentary canal, the gut of man, starts with mouth, ends with anus. Alimentary canal of man starts with the mouth and ends with the anus. This is and this is mouth aperture. Mouth opens into a wide cavity. That cavity is called as the buccal cavity. This is buccal cavity. Mouth opens into the buccal cavity. These are the external nostrils. Nostrils opens into the nasal chambers, internal nostrils, and then into the pharynx. We discuss about the pharynx parts. This is the nasopharynx and oropharynx. This is the laryngopharynx. But this is the pharynx. The two tracts, the air tract and the food oral tract, are separated with one structure, and this structure is called as the palate. This is the palate. Palate separates the buccal cavity into nasal cavity, and this the pharynx. As I am discussing only about the alimentary canal, and this pharynx ultimately opens into a tract is called as the esophagus. This is esophagus. and this is the laryngopharynx. Laryngopharynx opens into the larynx, and this is the larynx and the glottis that opens obviously into the respiratory tract. But I am not dealing with the respiratory tract as of now. I deal with the only alimentary canal, mouth, buccal cavity, pharynx, esophagus. And now I discuss about the buccal cavity. I start buccal cavity of man. Buccal cavity of mammal and also in man. Buccal cavity contain the parts are three. One is the palate, two teeth, and third part is the tongue. Palate, tooth and tongue. Teeth and tongue. Palate is the part which is bifurcating the two tracts, air chamber, oral chamber, into two parts, the hard palate and the soft palate. Anterior part of the palate is the hard palate. Anterior part of the palate is the hard palate. And post part of the palate is the soft palate. Posterior part of the palate is the soft palate. Hard palate, because it is bony, it is made up of bone. The bones are called as the maxillary bones. Maxillary bones are a type of the facial elements. Maxillary bones are a type of the facial elements. You know, we discussed about the facial elements in the further classes also. Facial elements are as many as 14 bones are facial elements. In that facial elements, one type of bones are called the maxillary bones. They form the hard palate, and soft palate is soft because it is made up of the connective tissue. It contains the connective tissue. That is why it is soft in nature. And that soft palate hangs down. This is the hanging down portion of the soft palate, and that hanging portion of the soft palate is called as uvula. Uvula opens into the esophagus. Uvula opens into esophagus. This is all about the palate. And now I don't discuss about the next part present in the buccal cavity. Teeth. Teeth. Human dentition is described as thecodont, and heterodont, and diphyodont. Thecodont, heterodont, and diphyodont. Dentition of mammals, thecodont and heterodont and diphyodont. What is the meaning of thecodont? Thecodont dentition is that the tooth is embedded in the jawbone socket like this. This is the jawbone socket, for example. This is the tooth. When the teeth are embedded in the jawbone socket, the type of the dentition is called as the thecodont dentition. For example, it is okay. This is the jawbone. It is the socket of the jawbone. Jawbone socket. Inside the socket of the jawbone, the tooth is embedded. The root of the tooth is embedded in the jawbone socket. And this is why called as the thecodont dentition. When the teeth are embedded in the jawbone sockets. And coming to why human dentition or mammalian dentition is described as heterodont, because human teeth are as many as 4 types. We have 4 types of teeth. 4 type of the teeth, and they are: 1. Incisors, canines, premolars, and molar teeth. Incisors, canines, premolar and molar teeth are present. There are as many as 4 type of the teeth are present in man and also in the mammals. That is why not isodont, they are called as the heterodont dentition. Incisors are scissor-like teeth. Incisors are scissor-like teeth which are blade-like, and they are normally called as the cutting teeth. Incisors are the cutting teeth. Canines are dagger-like teeth. Canines are dagger-like teeth, like a sharp, small weapon. This is the dagger. Dagger-like teeth are, they can be called as the tearing teeth. Tearing teeth are the canines. Both premolar and molar teeth are called as the masticatory teeth. They are called as the masticatory or chewing teeth. Masticatory teeth are the chewing teeth. That is why our dentition is heterodont dentition, because we have the incisors, canines, premolar and molar teeth. Then why our dentition also named as diphyodont dentition? Diphyodont dentition. Our dentition is also named as, described as diphyodont, because where the milk teeth are, the milk teeth can be called as the deciduous teeth, and the milk teeth are replaced by the permanent teeth. Milk teeth are replaced by the permanent teeth. That is why our dentition is diphyodont. In total, human dentition is thecodont, as the teeth are embedded in the jawbone sockets. Heterodont because the different types of the teeth, 4 types of the teeth, incisors, canines, premolar, molar teeth, they are the different in their shape and different in their function, but the structurality is always similar. Structure is similar. And coming to the diphyodont dentition, because the milk teeth are replaced by the permanent teeth, hence it is called as the diphyodont dentition. And now I am going to discuss about the structural aspect of the tooth and the dental formula, etc. regarding the dentition. Regarding the dentition, the adult dental formula, is 2 2 1 2 3 by 2 1 2 3. Before I discuss about the dental formula of man, what is the meaning of the dental formula? Dental formula is that number of the teeth present on the half of the upper jaw and half of the lower jaw. I repeat, dental formula is nothing but the total number of the teeth present on the half of the upper jaw and half of the lower jaw is indicating the dental formula. Here, the 2 1 2 3 by 2 1 2 3 means where 2 is nothing but incisors, 1 canines, 2 premolars and 3 molar on the upper jaw. Once again, incisors, canines, premolars and molar teeth. It is the dental formula of the adult man. Therefore, total number of the teeth are 8 on the half of the upper jaw, 8 on half of the lower jaw. 8 plus 8 plus 8 is equals to 32 number of the teeth. 16 on the upper jaw and 16 on the lower jaw is equal to 32 number of the teeth are present. Therefore, it is the dental formula in the adult dental formula. But whereas I want to discuss about the dental formula of the deciduous teeth. Dental formula of milk teeth can be called as the deciduous teeth. Deciduous teeth dental formula is 2 1 0 2 by 2 1 0 2. Therefore, milk teeth are 2 plus 1 3 plus 2 5 on upper jaw half and half of the lower jaw into 2 is equals to total number of the teeth in the deciduous teeth are 20. What is the meaning of the deciduous teeth or the milk teeth? They are present only in the children and they are called as the milk teeth. Total number of the milk teeth are 20. The teeth which are absent, in the milk dentition are the teeth which are absent in the milk dentition. Incisors are present, canines as it is they are present. What type of teeth are absent? They are all premolar teeth are absent. All premolar teeth are absent. If you see, molar teeth are first molar, second molar, third molar. First molar, second molar, third molar. That is why the first two molar teeth are present, but the third molar teeth are absent. Third molar teeth are absent. These are the teeth which are absent in the milk dentition. What type of teeth are absent? The premolar teeth, all premolar teeth are absent, and the third molar teeth are absent in the dental formula of the milk dentition or else the deciduous teeth. Therefore, this is very important question. The question framing is as follows. Write the or identify the monophyodont dental formula of man. What is that monophyodont dental formula? The teeth which are formed only once in the life cycle. They are formed only in the one time in the life cycle. They are called as the monophyodont dental formula. It is as follows: 0, 0, 2, 1/0021 is the monophyodont dental formula. If you observe that the milk teeth or deciduous teeth contain the all incisors, they are as it is present in the adult. Canines are also present in the adult, but the premolar are absent. Last molar teeth are absent. That is why monophyodont dental formula is equals to 0021/0021 is equals to 12 number of the teeth are formed only once in the life cycle. Therefore, what is the dental formula of the diphyodont dental formula? Diphyodont dental formula. Diphyodont dental formula is equals to nothing but, it is nothing but same as it is the milk dentition formula. Diphyodont dental formula is equals to milk dentition milk teeth or milk dentition. Therefore, diphyodont dental formula is equals to 2102/2102. These two questions are very much important. Adult dental formula is 2123/2123. Monophyodont dental formula is equal to 0021/0021. Diphyodont dental formula, because they are formed twice in the life history, they are nothing but the milk teeth dental formula 2102/2102. This is all about the dental formula of man. And coming to the structural aspect of the tooth, it is as follows. Structure of the tooth. Structure of tooth. Teeth or tooth, singular and plural. Origin of tooth. Origin of tooth is ectomesodermal. Ectomesodermal in origin. What are the ectodermal cells which are forming the tooth? The ectodermal cells are ameloblast cells. Ameloblast cells are ectodermal cells. Mesodermal cells are the odontoblast cells. Odontoblast cells. Ameloblast cells forms the crown of the tooth, nothing but the enamel. Enamel is the chewing part of tooth. Enamel is the masticatory part of the tooth, and enamel is the hardest part of the human body, and that is formed by the cells are called as the ameloblast, which are ectodermal in origin. The mesodermal cells are odontoblast cells, and odontoblast cells are forming the structure of the tooth is the dentine. Dentine formed by the odontoblast cells. This is origin of the tooth. And coming to the structure of the tooth is as follows. Structure is as follows. I told you that I am going to take some other book references also, may be useful for the other entrance examinations, not only for NEET, AIMS and ZIPMAR. Please bear me. And these things are not written in the NCR textbook. The structure is not given, but I have taken from the other references. Please bear me. And this is the structure of the tooth. And this portion of the tooth and this is the dentine of tooth. Dentine of tooth. This is dentine. This is also dentine. And this cavity is the pulp cavity. This is the pulp cavity. Pulp cavity. What is present inside the pulp cavity? Into the pulp cavity, the blood vessels are entering. Artery enters and vein comes out. Artery enters and vein comes. Into the pulp cavity there is an entry of the nerve also. This is the nerve entry into the pulp cavity. So pulp cavity is lined by important. Pulp cavity is lined by odontoblast cells. Pulp cavity is lined by the odontoblast cells. Pulp cavity contains the blood vessels. Pulp cavity also contains the nerve innervation. This is all about the dentine pulp cavity. Dentine is the bulk of the tooth. Most of the tooth is the dentine. Dentine is just like the bone. Dentine is just like the bone, but as we know, a compact bone contains the Haversian systems. But in the dentine, it is like a bone, but there are no Haversian systems. No Haversian systems. In the dentine. This is all about the dentine and the pulp cavity. As I told you, the crown of the tooth, this is the crown of the tooth. The exposed portion of the tooth is the crown. It is nothing but enamel. And this enamel is formed by the ameloblast cells. The hardest part of the tooth, the hardest part of the human body is the enamel. It is helping for the chewing and mastication. And this is the gum. And this is gum of the tooth. Nothing but the gingiva. Gum can be called as the gingiva. Gum or gingiva. So what I told you, our teeth are the thecodont because the teeth are embedded in the jawbone socket. This is the socket of the jawbone. This is the socket of the jawbone. I write here. This is the socket, jawbone socket. This is the jawbone socket. But there should be some attachment between the jawbone socket to the tooth. That is as follows. First of all, over the tooth surface there is a membrane. I draw it in red color. There is one attachment between the jawbone socket and the tooth surface. Jawbone socket and the tooth surface. I write like this. And this substance or material is called as the cementum or cement. But there is one more attachment between the cementum and the jawbone socket, that is called as the periodontal membrane. This is the periodontal membrane. I draw it in black color. This is the periodontal membrane. Once again on this side also. And this is called the periodontal membrane. What is present in the periodontal membrane? It is a dense irregular connective tissue. It is a dense irregular connective tissue. So this is the structural aspect of the tooth. Tooth is formed by the cells are ameloblast cells and odontoblast cells. Origin of the tooth is both ectodermal and mesodermal. Mesodermal cells are odontoblast cells. Ectodermal cells are ameloblast cells. Ameloblast cells are forming in the enamel, the hardest part, and the chewing portion of the crown of the tooth, and the odontoblast cells are forming in the dentine. The structure is as follows. This is the dentine. This is the dentine. And that is formed by the odontoblast cells. But inside the tooth there is a cavity called the pulp cavity, which have the renderings of the blood vessels and nerves are present, and the pulp cavity is lined by the odontoblast cells, and this is the tooth dentine is attached with the cementum. Over that cement material there is a periodontal membrane, over that jawbone socket. Therefore, I can arrange the layers of the tooth from outer to inner. This is as follows. Jawbone socket, next one periodontal membrane, next one cement, next one dentine, next one pulp cavity, next one dentine, next one a periodontal membrane, and next one cement, and next one the jawbone cavity, jawbone socket. Once again, jawbone socket, periodontal membrane, cementum, dentine, pulp cavity. Over. This is all about the structural aspect of the tooth, origin of the tooth, and this is the well exposed portion of the tooth is called as the crown. This is the crown, and this is the root, and this is the base, and this is the neck of the tooth. This is all about the structural aspect of the tooth. So far I discussed about only buccal cavity, the palate and the tooth, and in my next class I teach about the tongue and other parts of the alimentary canal. Thank you for watching.